Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome back to another in-depth review for Marvel Strike Force. Now this particular review, we have a slight change in the format for it, and the reason for that is I'm very happy to say that I've actually managed to gain access to the Strike Force test server. So that means going forward with these reviews I'll be able to do them based on 7-star characters, and on occasion I'll be able to do them in characters that aren't yet fully released, and that is the case with the character we are covering tonight. Now just before we get into the actual in-depth review, I will mention that although I'm on the test server, in no way am I affiliated with Fox Next or Marvel at all. So for this video anyway, we'll be checking out Nick Fury. Now we'll start off with a general overview, that's how you unlock him and also his tags. We'll then have a look at his stats. Next up it's the abilities. We then have the synergies, and we finish up by seeing where he places in the tier list. So let's start off here with the general overview. Nick Fury then is a summoner class, and he's got a very strong emphasis on being placed in a team alongside shield minions. Now when it comes to his tags, he's got hero, global, skill, support, avenger and shield. Now avenger's normally a very good tag and you'll try to place those characters together, but the important tag here for Nick Fury is shield, because it's insane the buffs you really can get from this, and we'll see that once we do get to the actual abilities and also the synergy section. Now in regards to unlocking them, most of you probably know by now you need 5 Kree minions, and that will be the legendary event which is coming for him very soon. So he has exceptionally high requirements to unlock him, so it's minions that people haven't really been farming, but he looks to be one of the strongest heroes in the game, if that's not much of a spoiler when you do put him up with a shield team. So I'm curious if going forward we'll start to see characters that are exceptionally powerful and have some rather more difficult requirements in order to unlock them there. But with the overview covered, let's have a look at his stats now. When it comes to his offensive stats, then these do look a little bit underwhelming, but there is a reason for that. Now, if we actually run through them first anyway, you've got his damage, which is down at E, his speed is D, it's only 99 that comes in at, and his focus is B, but that's not really relevant because he's not cleansing any kind of buffs and he's also not applying any kind of debuffs at all. Now the reason his stats are low is because for the majority of fights he'll actually be running with a ton of buffs on himself. For example, buffs he can apply to himself are offense up, speed up and also assist now, and then when you team him up with shield characters he'll be getting a ton of other buffs on top of that, and again that's something we'll talk about a bit more when we do get to the synergies section. But with that covered, let's have a look at his defensive stats. When we look at his defensive stats, these are actually pretty good here, and that's not including all the various defensive buffs he will be getting as well, so he really can be quite a sturdy character. Now his health is C, his armour's up at B, and his resistance is A, so it will be hard to strip buffs from him, and it will also be hard to apply debuffs to him as a result of that. Now also as part of his own kit, so this doesn't include the buffs he can get from shield, he has defense up which he can apply, he's got heal, and he's also got additional resistance he can apply, making it even harder to apply the debuffs or to strip the buffs from him. So he does really nice from a defensive perspective. Now next up, let's have a look at his abilities. For the abilities here then, we have 4 in total to look at. It's the passive, basic, special and also the ultimate. I'll show off the tooltip of the active skills at level 7 and the passive at level 5. This information is available via msf.gg, and then I'll let you actually know how high you want to take each of the individual skills. Now if we look at the first one, we can see straight away how strong he actually is. This is called Director of Shield, so if you were to max this out at level 5 then you would gain 20% resistance for self and shield minion allies. On spawn you grant speed up to self and shield minion allies, and then there's a 30% chance to grant assist now to self or random allies on each hero ally's turn, and then finally if the ally granted assist now is a shield minion, they also gain offense up. Really pretty crazy there. Now I would say that you do want to max this particular one out, because if you take it up to level 4 you actually lose 10% on the assist now, and because it can activate on each hero ally's turn you really want to get that as high as possible, so take this up to level 5. For the basic, we have a skill called Customizer. So with this, you attack the primary target for 230% damage, chain to one adjacent target for 180% damage, and you generate one ability energy on crit. Also with this, energy is granted to adjacent allies, so that's nice, there's no RNG in that. And finally, it does mention the fact that counter attacks break the chain, so you just have to watch out for that. In regards to how high you want to take it up to level 6 I would say, because after that point you'll be using a lot of materials to upgrade it, and all you're getting is a little bit of additional damage on the primary attack and the chain. So at level 6 you're still getting the chain to one target at 100%, and you're still getting ability energy as well, so that's where I would leave that particular skill. For the special, we have a skill called Rally. Now it's 4 turns to charge and comes fully charged. His ultimate actually comes fully charged as well, but I would say if you were to use one over the other at the start of a fight, you'll be wanting to use the ultimate first and then follow up with this skill. Now if we look at what it does, it's you gain defense up, you spread all positive effects on self to all allies, which is exceptionally strong, and you heal self and all shield minion allies for 10,000 health and 15% of this character's max health. Now Nick Fury has in the region of around about 70,000 health, so that means 15,000 would be 21,000 health, so that means the total heal at level 7 would be 31,000 health. Now at level 5 there's not much of a drop off. At level 5 you would heal for 27,000 health, so that's only 4,000 less. Yet the jump from level 5 to level 7 in materials is 125 tier 3 materials and around about 180 tier 4 materials. So for that reason, keep this one at level 5, and as mentioned, you want to use this after using his ultimate, which we're about to check out. For the ultimate then, this is a skill called Reinforcement, so it's got that 5 turns to charge. You can see it's fully charged, and as mentioned already, you use this at the start of a fight. So when using this, you'll summon 2 to 3 shield agents at 340% normal damage and 150% of normal health, and you gain positive effects for 2 turns. Now the positive effects you gain depend on the summons that actually come in, so you can summon a shield operative, he will give Nick Fury speed up, or you can summon shield security and he will give Nick Fury a fence up. So this particular skill you want to max it out, because at level 6 you summon 2 minions, whereas at level 7 you have the chance to summon that 3rd minion. It's worthwhile because it gives you the higher chance to actually get the buff. Now if you use this and then follow up with Rally, his special, then what you'll be doing is you'll potentially be spreading, and this depends on your setup of shield minions, but you'll be spreading speed up, offense up, counter and defense up to all of your shield minions and allies. It really is unbelievable. The amount of green counters you'll see above your character's head on screen, you'll barely be able to see the actual characters. Now with all the abilities covered, let's have a look at his synergies. When it comes to allies that you want to pair Nick Fury up with, you can actually add moderate buffs to a whole heap of characters in the game, particularly hero based characters. However, to make the most of them, and this is really when he takes it to another level, you will want to pair him up with shield minions. Now there's 5 shield minions in the game, obviously there's only 5 slots and Nick Fury will take up one of them, so which minion would you drop? Now the ones I would say that you would want to actually take would be shield security, because with a full minion setup with Nick Fury you can be looking at a 60% block chance on the shield security character, which is crazy. You've then got shield operative. They work great because they provide focus and also counter to your characters, and Nick Fury can spread that counter to everyone as well because it actually provides 2 turns of counter, and you'll notice a few skills like that where the buff will last for 2 turns, and the main reason for that is so Nick Fury can actually spread it. Now next up you have shield assault, and you've got 50% crit chance that offers to all shield allies in Nick Fury. That's just insane. And then it's Shield Trooper, and Shield Trooper's really good, but it's very important that you place them next to Nick Fury and also the Shield Security, because the way they work is when an adjacent ally is attacked, they will actually counter attack back, and the damage can really rack up with the positioning of this character. So the one you're missing out, it would be Shield Medic. The reason I dropped them is they're really there for healing, but Nick Fury has that pretty awesome 27 or 31,000k heal on his special anyway, so I would say stick to those 4 characters there. Now next up, let's have a look at the characters you want to avoid. When it comes to characters you want to avoid, there's really not a lot of heroes at all here because the shield minion team in Nick Fury is so powerful. To be honest, I feel that potentially they are too powerful. Now the reason there's so few enemies that can actually go up against them is due to that speed up they actually get on spawn, and looking at the rest of the kit and everything they offer, I feel potentially they should actually remove that speed up on them before it goes live, because it is simply just too powerful when you add everything up together. If it stays as is, the characters that could potentially provide a little bit of a counter here could be that if you ran Drax and Doctor Strange, because there'll be a ton of buffs on this team. If you can flip them, then you're onto a winner, but the problem is flipping them. If you don't have a tank that can act quicker than them, Doctor Strange will be burned down, and that's where Drax comes in there, but he would need to sustain all the attacks, so it's still going to be really quite tough. Next up you have Loki. He's not out yet, but looking at his kit, he could be useful because Loki actually goes before any character regardless of speed, the way his passive works, and he can mind control other characters to attack an existing one. So because the shield characters are doing so much damage, if they're actually attacking their own characters, they could put out a nice amount of damage. Then you'd want them to focus in on taking out Nick Fury hopefully before he starts spreading all those buffs. Finally, it looks like we may have to get the Fantastic Four coming to the game, and alongside them Galactus, because he's the only character I would say for sure that would be able to take down the Nick Fury and shield combo as it stands at the moment. Now with that covered, let's have a look and see where he places in the tier list. So with Nick Fury then, if you are running him with a shield team, I think it's pretty clear that he would be a mega character without a doubt, potentially the strongest character in the game with that setup. Now the difficulty with this tier list here was actually deciding where he would be if you were to run him in a regular team. Now if you look at what he would offer a regular team, on his basic you've still got the chain, you've also got the ability energy that's generating on crit to adjacent allies, so that's really pretty nice. You've then got the ultimate. We'll jump to the ultimate because you'll use that first. You'll be calling in the 2 to 3 shield agents that do a nice amount of damage, and also you're potentially putting speed up and offense up in Nick Fury. You're then following that up with Rally, and this applies to all characters, so you'll get defense up on Fury and then you'll spread the defense up, speed up and offense up to all allies. It's not just shield allies. Yes, that's really strong. For his special you do have the heal part of it that will only heal himself, it won't be healing other allies that aren't shield minions. And then finally you do have his passive there where he's starting off with the speed up, and also he's got the 30% chance for assist now if you run him with hero allies as well. So there's really quite a lot even if you don't team him up with a shield minion team. So I would say for that reason it would be a low level alpha character, and I didn't actually intend for characters to get as many plus symbols as this, and I may have to rethink how I'm actually showing this on the chart, but I would say that it would move up as many as 5 tiers with a shield team, and that would place him in the high and mega tier category. Now the one thing I would say to finish up, I don't think I've ever said this in an in-depth review before, but I feel potentially he is too strong, and I'm hoping that to balance them out a little bit and at least test and see how it works out. We'll see the on spawn speed up removed and then see how the characters react from there, and whether or not you'll need further tuning before the event comes back round again and more characters do get access to them. But I hope this has been helpful. It's been pretty great to get early access to a character, especially when I'm able to play around with them at 7-star as well to really get a proper feel how they are. So going forward, as soon as I do get access to characters and I'm allowed to release information on them, I will do that, so that way you can know is the character worth farming for, or you better prioritising for other characters, because at the game at the moment it is pulling you in so many different directions, and I know it can be quite hard to decide who to actually try and rank up. But I would say get ranking up those cream minion characters, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.